performance painting videos, art life hacks and DIYs, interviews with creatives, and more. I'll also bring you on my journey as a world-traveling artist. I'm Garibaldi, and this is Art Life. Welcome to Art Life. I'm Garibaldi. We're all about creating and finding inspiration every day. But I'm also about surrounding yourself with that same creativity and inspiration. But I get it. Finding art is not easy. First, you gotta find the gallery. Then you gotta figure out who's the up-and-coming artist. Is this worth the investment? And on top of that, where do we find the money to buy all this art? So today, I wanna show you how to take a simple family photo and turn it into street art. So it's not exactly street art. I mean, for it to be street art, we'd have to actually be doing this most likely illegally on a building we don't own. We want to just take the inspiration from street art. So the technique we're going to use for this is something called wheat pasting. Now, a lot of street artists will go to their studio, they'll create a piece of art on some sort of paper with spray paint or drawing, they'll cut it out, they'll take it to the streets, and this is when they use this glue and water mixture to create a bond between the paper and the surface that's going on. Now, that surface can be concrete, bricks, wood, whatever it is, whatever's in the way, it's gonna get wheat pasted. You'll just need a few simple things, and here's a list. So now you're the artist, and now you need to find the inspiration. I use my kids for inspiration all the time, not only because they're just wild and crazy, but they're the cutest things on this earth. So find a family member, find a family animal, whatever it is, but find some inspiration around you. To start this, I took some pictures of my kids in the morning before they were off to school. It was about, 8 o'clock in the morning, like most families are trying to get the kids out the door and you're trying to get off to work. Well, don't forget to snap some photos. With those photos, I put them into an app. I use an app called Mextures. I love the formulas. It really turns your photo into this like magazine-ready photo. Once I found the filter, I downloaded the FedEx app, and I love FedEx because there's FedEx print places everywhere. Anywhere in this country, you can find one. Uploaded the photos, told them I want this size poster, I want it by this time, and I want to be able to pick it up on the way home from work. The posters were ready, picked them up, and came out pretty good. I mean, this was taken with my iPhone, so the quality of your phone is good enough for this. It's got great quality, great resolution. It's an easy thing to do. So next, you're gonna need something to cut out this photo. I prefer to use an X-Acto knife. You can use scissors or whatever else you have available to cut paper. Just make sure you're being safe with this and you're not getting too crazy with the cutting. But I like to use the X-Acto knife so that I can get very precise around the hair, especially you gotta cut that cute smile out. Now, you can find a canvas at any arts and crafts store, any art store near you. I went ahead and got a 20 by 20 inch canvas. Now, this can be done at any size. I showed you the poster already, and it's about a 18 by 24 in size, but you can use something from your printer, which is about 8.5 by 11. You can do this small, or if you want to get crazy and you want to go for it, you can do something life size on your wall, totally up to you. But today I'll be using a 20 by 20 very basic canvas from an arts and crafts store. Now this is where the wheat pasting comes in. I picked up a product called Podge, and I got this at a local arts and crafts store, but you can actually find this online on Amazon.com, or you can just Google it. But another option for this is also to Google wheat paste, and it comes in a powder form. All you do is add water, mix it up, and you pretty much have made some homemade Mod Podge. But if you want to skip that step, just go ahead and pick this up. Once you have the Mod Podge, you'll need to get it from the container to the surface. So to help with that, very simple brush. You can find this at any hardware store. Actually, search through that junk drawer in your house. You probably have one of these. Now, to really give it the street art feel, I like to add some spray paint. I prefer to use a Liquitex spray paint because it's low in odor, it's easy to find, but also you can get a lot of different tip options. So when you find the Liquitex, make sure you ask them, can I get a thin tip? Can I get a fat tip? Now, they'll probably think you're gonna go do some illegal graffiti. Just go along with it, tell them you are. But you're really gonna be bringing this home. So those are the basics. I actually wanna include a few other creative elements. These are options, but let me show you a few. When I was at the arts and crafts store, I picked up a stencil, very simple one. This is something that while you're doing the spray paint, you can put it on the surface of the canvas and create a really cool pattern on top of the photo. I also picked up some printed paper. Now this one has like a really cool brick style to it. You can pick up any pattern, but again, this will give this really cool street art wheat paste feel. And really anything you add to this is just gonna add to the style of it. I also picked up some of these Kuretake Zig paint markers. These are awesome. The paint flows nice, and when you run it around, which I'll show you later, run it around on the face, the paint will flow real nice, but I love these Kuretake Zig paint markers. That's everything you need. Let's get started. I've got the photo on a flat surface. Since we're using a knife or scissors, just make sure you have something under the photo to protect the table below it. It really doesn't matter where you start on the photo, but just make sure that you kind of have an idea of what you want to cut out. I know for this picture of my daughter, she has some awesome little curly hair, so I want to be really careful around these curls. Try to get as much as I can. You just want to cut around the outer rim of the photo. That excess stuff, just throw it away. Once we've cut it out, we're going to start to apply this to the canvas. So bring the canvas in, just find a nice little centered spot for your image. I think this looks good spot right here. And start to get the Mod Podge on the surface of the canvas. And put a generous coat of Mod Podge on the canvas. Looks like I got a little pink splatter from some paint I was doing earlier. But it's okay, we'll mix that in. So again, you can be really generous with this first coat, but make sure it's even. If you're wondering how fast to do this, just imagine you're doing this on a legal wall somewhere, and you don't want the police to catch you. So move quick. Bring the photo over, slowly press it down. Really make sure that you get the edges down because we don't want this lifting off later on. You don't want your family and friends coming over, you're like, check out this awesome artwork I made, and it's falling off. So just spend the extra time to press this photo down. If you have some parts that are lifting off, or you want to just add a little bit extra, go ahead and just peel a corner, add some extra Mod Podge, and press it back down. So now that it's set, we're going to let this sit for 15-20 minutes before we add some more. Now you don't have to do this, but I want to add a little flavor to my street art family photo. This brick paper that I got, I'm going to tear some pieces off of this, just like this. Now if you're putting this paper on and you have a little bit excess, don't be afraid, just tear it off. So we've completed the first part. We've sealed the image to the surface of the canvas. Next step is to add another layer of the Mod Podge to create a seal over the image. So you can be very generous again with the usage of the Mod Podge. We're really just putting another layer on here to create a sort of a protective seal. So if you get any dust on this later on, you can wipe it, splash a little water on it, don't worry. You have to imagine that how street art survives in the natural elements. I mean, it's raining, it's snowing, there's wind, there's dust, and we're using the same techniques where this art is under all the elements. So I think this will be safe in your home. So right now you can kind of see a foggy white layer of the Mod Podge over the image. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I just messed it up. Don't worry, it'll dry in a nice matte clear finish. All right, looks like we have it all covered. We're gonna take a minute, let this dry, and when we come back from this, we're gonna add some paint. This is my absolute favorite part of any project we get to add the paint. So again, I mentioned, let's use a Liquitex, low odor, low chemicals. You can do this inside. If you prefer to go outside, it's totally okay. But if you're using a different spray paint, go outside. It'll smell horrible. I also mentioned that you can get some spray tips. I'm going to use a thin tip. So give me a nice, clean, thin line, but it doesn't need to be perfect. Let it splash, let it spill, let it drip. Have some fun with this. Let me just show you a few tips to make it easy. The best thing to do is to follow the outer rim of the image. And also you're gonna wanna push down like this and move it. So just think about this pattern of pushing the spray can down. Just think of this pattern of pushing the tip down and moving it while you do that. And be free. Don't be afraid to move your hand around. And then the fun part is you can kind of add your own lines on the outside. So I'm gonna add some. I'm gonna lift it up a little bit so I can get some elevation for my spray can, because when it gets flat, you don't get a lot of paint. You get a lot of air, not a lot of paint. So I'm gonna lift it up just a little bit. See, look at that. It's already coming to life. Now earlier I gave you one of the options to pick up some stencils. I'm gonna use a stencil right now. Now I also switched the tip into a fat tip. This will give me a broader spray. You know, don't spend a lot of time thinking. Just kind of put the stencil where you think it should go, where you feel it should go. Remember, you're the artist. We're not done yet. Let me show you how to do an easy splatter. Just spray an excess amount of paint on a spoon, on a piece of cardboard. We've got the lid to the Mod Podge. We're gonna spray a little bit of that on there. Get a nice little pool and splatter. Now that we splattered the paint, I want to add one more touch. I've got these really cool Kutatake Zig paint markers. You can see it's already dripping. I'm just gonna shake this a little bit. I'm also add some lines. And this will give it that real street art tag look. There it is. And remember, there's inspiration all around you, so don't forget your other family members. Thanks so much for watching, but I want to know what family member inspired your street art family portrait. Leave your comments below. I want to know what worked, what didn't work, and also remember to follow us: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe, come back. We'd love to show you some more. This was an easy art life hack, my take on a DIY. I'm Garibaldi, and remember to create and find inspiration every day.